Hey, Sonder family. I sure hope that you are not tired of Team Texas. Katie Gideon is in the chat tonight. I'm Jennifer Ogilvy. I'm your on camera facilitator, and we've just been hanging out this whole weekend. Apparently, we're the only ones who did not have fun travel plans as far as the facilitator team go. But we are glad that you are here because, yeah, we're back tonight. Here we are. So I hope that you looked at this little graphic and you chose a fall favorite and found an affirmation. We are leaning into a brand new theme, and some of you have already come tonight and have shared some things that are on your heart that are really tough. And so we always want to remind you that, we are here for you as a virtual community. And that's one of the good things that came out of COVID was that we had the opportunity to learn how to build virtual community. And wow, what a great one you have in your Sonder family. So we always say, come as you are and bring your burdens and let us give you some affirmation. And you may Nicole shared in the chat, she just found out she's got to have surgery. And so right now it's okay. I told her, feelings aren't right or wrong. You can come sad, you can come angry, you can come frustrated. Your feelings just are, and you're going to get to a place where you have better acceptance, and you're going to have a plan to move forward, and you're going to find the gratitude in modern medicine and skilled caregivers and that kind of stuff. Kate has shared that there's a separation in her life, and that's a tough thing. And Kate, you've been trying to figure out which direction to go. And so here you are. And so I've got a great graphic to show you that hopefully will speak to your heart. Um, but goodness, this community is so amazing. And there are those guidelines when we are together. So um, yeah, we create these safe spaces, and this community really does help us on this journaling journey that we are taking with each other. So we want to remind you to be kind and courteous to yourself and others. And also, you are always invited to you can just hang out. You can participate with your journal. You can work on something else, but just be among your community. This is all about what you need at any given time. So, yeah, are there any brand new people here tonight who have never been to a social? We want to tell you hello and welcome you. I'm noticing lots of the familiar names, and a lot of these familiar folks do have found their community and are comfortable sharing and being vulnerable. So, yay, we do have some first timers. So we're glad you're here. These appointments with your journal are so good because they're going to keep you accountable. And we've also got lots of ideas for setting your journal up, helping it be a powerhouse for your life. So we always say, make these appointments, keep them, and fall in love with the rest of this community by being here. You can participate as little or as much as you would like. Make sure that chat is set to everyone. So if you see your name and it says to host and panelists, then that means Katie and I are the only ones who will see it. But if it says everyone, then you're going to be able to share with the entire group. So you're welcome to send Katie and me a message if you need to. All righty. So yeah, and I threw this little graphic in. I'm always inspired by the women before me, around me, and ahead of me. And that a lot of those gals are y'all who keep coming back and showing up for each other. So yeah, a brand new month, October. Here's some fun facts. It's we've got our Libras and our Scorpios in the house. Any birthdays, please say I'm celebrating so that we can wish you a big happy birthday. Oh, and I meant to tell you that, like the other socials, this is being recorded. So you may be joining us via YouTube by yourself after the fact of this social. And so we welcome you. We're glad you're here. I'm sorry you don't get the great chat that's happening, but anyhow, that you can always access this as well as 1,000 other socials if you need to reference that. So, and oh my gosh, y'all, the birthday month flowers are cosmos and marigolds. And I love that because that's about I can grow cosmos, marigolds, and zinnias in my garden. So lots of birthdays. Yay. I love this. You the little birthday gals, that's fun. I'm married to a Scorpio, but that he doesn't celebrate till next month. So, okay, for those of y'all who are in a really tough spot right now, I want you to keep this graphic front of mind because we just want to encourage you to keep going. Like this graphic says, keep going, my girl. You could be so close to something great and not even know it as you are traversing this big old mountain that feels very heavy. And there's clouds above you, but you don't know yet what's beyond those clouds. So keep hopeful. I love visuals that kind of help me remember those things. So hopefully that speaks to you guys. So anyhow, oh Corey, oh goodness. So Corey, we just sent, heaven sent birthday greetings from Mark. We're so glad that he was part of your life, and we're so glad that you're choosing to hang out with us as you have this first milestone alone. And I know that he's been in your heart all day long. So we're really honored that that you are here tonight. So thank you for allowing us to be part of your journey and your healing and your moving forward. And we are grateful for his life. We celebrate that because I know that that's a lot of who you are too. Ah, so let's take a look at page 2, which is the letter from Meha that we kind of like to shout out every month about resilience. And in her letter, I just couple things, we try to pick out a couple things that sort of speak to us, and it was, for me, resilience is what allows us to weather life's storms. Like we just found out we can be brave. We've got this resilient to weather life storms, to bend without breaking and to keep moving forward even when the path feels uncertain. I hope those words, are powerful for you this evening. And then resilience isn't about trusting that no matter what life throws at us, we have the inner strength. Um, Let me start over. Sorry. Resilience is about trusting that no matter what life throws at us, we do have the inner strength to not only survive, but to thrive. We have moments that things don't go as planned, like surgeries, when we face setbacks or challenges, when we truly see our resilience at work in our lives. So, we're going to learn how, this month, what pushing through a challenging season looks like, and we're going to do it together. I really like this solo self care idea slide because I think it's so important in our weekly setup this weekend. We came up with tools that help us embrace, um, as Katie put it, um, you create like a list, right, of your distraction list. What helps you reset, recenter, remember who you are. And that was kind of that first look into our mind map. And so we thought of the techniques we use so that we can be the best versions of ourselves. And so I thought that solo care idea, of course, we love positively present. You see a lot of her graphics. Katie loves her. I love her. A lot of us facilitators will pull her content. But that reminder of solo self-care, that it is your choice of how you take care of yourself through this lens of resilience. We can't count on other folks to fulfill that part that's deep inside of us. It's up to us. So, maybe there's something on there, some things that will speak to you that you may end up setting into your intentions this month or putting on your habit tracker. But be sure that you're taking good care of yourself and putting yourself first so that you can let that resilience shine. I'm really chatty tonight. So our agenda, we are going to work on that monthly acrostic poem. And yes, Maggie, you're right. It is a good one for the bingo. And I'm actually going to do the bingo Social, I get to do that one. I'll give you a hint. I always say that, like the coloring pages and bingo pages, I love to make copies of, so that I can repurpose them in numbers of ways. So that's a little pro tip with your journal is like if there's some pages that are really speaking to you, make copies so that you can repurpose them for other things. You might have a fun fall bingo, but you also might have a declutter bingo with that card. You may start getting ready for the holiday bingo. So we're going to be doing a lot of that kind of stuff at that social. We're going to do our September reflections after that poem. We've got our monthly intentions to set, mood tracker, and habit tracker. So, yeah, sit around and do nothing. I have a feeling that even though you're sitting around doing nothing, Nicole, I have a feeling you're going to be able to fill your dance card with lots of things to do. I just have a feeling. But give yourself that time to get used to this idea of what life's going to look like for a few weeks. You can plan your 26-27 school year. So our acrostic poem, poetry is so good for our brains when we have to get creative and pull words and think about, our themes through this lens of poetry. So we do encourage you to get a free page, one of your notes pages, or if you have an extra journal for some of these sidekick activities. And we're going to use resilience as the base word for our acrostic poem. Now, this is not language arts. Nobody's going to grade this. So if resilience is down the middle of your page and you put words or sentences across, it doesn't have to start with R. It can, but you can also write a sentence and use that letter R, within that sentence. So it's really you do you. We're not going to grade this, but I do want to encourage you to kind of tap into that creative mind. If you wanted to use it as the beginning letter of the beginning letter for each line or word, you can. You'll set your page up to look like this. We've got some examples to show you. Um, Let's see. I thought, oh, and then there we go. There's our resilience that our Sonder family posted that they did. And so you can see, I love the one on the right because her name's Regina and she's written to herself, Regina, you are. So I thought that was pretty good. And then we've got some bonus prompts for you if an acrostic isn't for you. So you could spend this time writing a little note or letter saying goodbye to September and welcoming in October. You could write a letter saying goodbye to summer and hello to fall. You could create a haiku based on resilience. You could work on that definition page, page 3. You can think about small moments that make you feel resilient. Some of these are from Katie's inspiration. Read Meha's letter and just highlight what speaks to you. What are the words that jump out to you? Or maybe sit and pick out all your stickers and your colored writing tools that you're going to use. It's really, no right or wrong for this time together. So yeah, we're gonna just spend a little bit of time working on this. And then there's some synonyms over there for resilience. If you wanted to grab a different word just because it speaks to you, you like the way it sounds better or whatever, you can do it. And then if you'll notice this example that's currently up on the slide on the left, that is on that index page and where we have space for you to write notes. Resilience fits in those little spaces. So I thought that was a really good idea that somebody used that space. So let me put on a little bit of music while you start getting creative with your poetry and feel free to share what you're doing. If you're writing a poem, if you're picking out your stickers, but let's get kind of our minds starting to think about resilience. Okay, y'all are doing some amazing writing. So, um, good job. You got your brain thinking, you got creative, you did some thoughts about like what how you can maybe make certain words work so that it represents how you're feeling. Thank you. Carla, you're so sweet. It's so nice when you always compliment this lipstick, and I have a little bit left. And I told Katie, y'all, I'm so stopped up today, and I've been sneezing, sneezing, sneezing. I said, I don't have lipstick on yet because I don't want to wipe it off because I've just been. Anyway, thank you for commenting on that. But yeah, resilience, and I was sharing this morning, y'all, resilience is kind of a near and dear thing to me. I grew up in a really kind of crazy household with lots of weird stuff. And I mean, that was a million years ago, of course. But when I went to college and studied early childhood education, um, I started doing like research on resilient children. What makes people turn, where does that resilience come from and how come sometimes it shows up stronger in some people than others? And so I like this idea of resilience. I don't like that maybe we have to end up like going through really bad stuff and thinking, well, yay, I'm resilient, but I would have rather not been resilient and not gone through it. So anyway, it's just one of those tricky things, but I like the idea of doing a month of bravery and then moving forward with this idea of tapping into that bravery and how it shows up in resilience. So anyhow, yeah, so we've had these deep themes, really gets me talking and thinking, and we can, go to a philosophy class together. I'll stop talking now. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into our October setup. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to start off by reflecting over this past month and what it brought. And I know so many folks just September was hard. I don't know if it's that whole back to school mentality. And so there's like this, our mindset is this new fresh I don't know. Anyway, but people were like, "Yay, let's get through September and go on to October." And now October's here, and some of that's not looking fun. But anyhow, I saw this graphic and it made me laugh. September is almost over, but I'm still processing August with pending tasks from May. And Katie said, actually, I'm still processing July when she and I were visiting before this. So, like, life's just like this messy ball, and here we are. And we're going to take a look over our past month and we're gonna remember. I love this activity. I tend to really easily remember the tougher stuff, the stuff that didn't go well, just like, oh, we had to do this and this had to be replaced. And I forget that just as many wins or special moments showed up if I'll just reflect. And so I love this page for that because it creates that balance that we all seek in our life. um, I love this. This is another Instagram account, letters of Anna, I think is how it says. It's Anna, Win, Anna Win. And this is so gentle. One day you'll look back and realize you survived the month that you thought would break you. You carried the weight you thought it would crush you, and you kept going because grace kept carrying you. So maybe that's a little jot down somewhere for you if those words speak to you. Now, I really like to start off this page by ignoring the bottom box and let's just look at reflecting over our wins and our challenges and our moments from the month. And we always say, pull out your phone, look at your photos. What did you capture? What sparked joy for you? Look at your calendar. What were those special events that happened for you? And then also acknowledge those challenges. Again, for me, I can come up with all the challenges without reflecting back. For some reason, my brain wants to remember that. But then think about those special moments. And maybe you had a couple of challenges, but then when you really look at them because you survived them, They were also a win, so they could kinda be both of the same, just depending on if you've made it and you're feeling like you're in a good space. So, um, the Rosebud Thorn Reflections, if you look back in your September journal, great place. Maybe go look at that currently page when you filled that out, what was going on in your life. And, I always tell you to go look at your bank account, or the credit card account. Like, did you replace the water heater? That's a challenge. Those will also tell you the story of your month. So let's take a few moments to do some reflection, and then I'll come back and we'll talk about that bottom part of the page, and then we'll finish that part up. You may still be working on your wins, challenges, and those favorite moments from September. But while you're doing that, I'm going to drop down to that bottom section on this page, which is the start, stop, and continue boxes that we take a look at every month. We think about our month, what we had, and kind of like, what do we want to take into October, into the rest of the year? What's working? What are things we need to stop? Where do we need to put some boundaries in place so that we are doing things that serve our lives? And then maybe, what do we need to start doing this month? What is it that, we have meant to do, but we haven't? How are we gonna commit to that? So we take this moment, and I really like these boxes because I think this page, the bottom part of this page, can be your compass for the rest of the month as you set up goals, as you decide what your habits are going to be, as you set up your week to week to week. This is a really good place to look. So, we want to be very mindful while we're filling this out. I love this graphic again, another fun, positively present graphic, but things to stop doing. Like, are you needing to draw the line on, poisoning your own thoughts or fearing the unknown? How can you use that idea of bravery and resilience? Do you forget your power? Um, it's such a cute graphic, but man, very powerful words there. So that might inspire your stop box, what you want to stop doing. Something else that a lot of Sonder family members will do is they'll actually kind of ask themselves questions to remind themselves why they're thinking these things. So, for example, the one up on top, first off, they've kind of given this box a theme, and it's health and wellness. So, very much leaning into their stop, start, and continue is all about embracing health and wellness. So you can do that. Lots of different theme ideas are kind of listed over there on the right, but they're asking, what is it? What do I want to start? Increasing activity. Why? What is your why? Well, because it improves health. And how? How am I going to do that? And then an answer to that. And then that how can again drive what you're going to put in your habits and activities and your goals. So you can see how these are all set up that way, asking those questions about why and how to give true power to those words that you are working on and considering. Another way to use this is you could actually not do a start, stop, and continue, but maybe think about what you have been feeling or what you are feeling right now. If right now you are feeling very overwhelmed, write about that and write to that and let that be your guide for the month. So there's an example of doing, I'm feeling this way because of, and you write that down. We're again giving power to those words by putting them on paper. And I want to feel, or I need to, and then that will help you. That last box, you can see this person. I think this was Bailey's, maybe another facilitator. And I'm feeling slightly anxious, grateful, hopeful. And because we traveled, we had an amazing time, but now it's time to get back to reality for work and all that stuff. And then what do I need? I need meditation and routines that support me. So now that statement is going to be able to inform the other things that get set up in the journal. I hope that's making sense to you that doing that. The one below that around the bottom on the bottom there, this person wants to start using their daily pages. And how are they going to do that? And they've written that out. They're going to try some new things. They're going to be flexible with what goes on there. And then why? And again, answering that question. And I've mentioned before, there is an exercise called the 5 whys. And when you are trying to think of a solution to a problem, you state that and you ask yourself, well, why do I feel this way? And you answer that. And then you say, "Well, why? Why is that?" And you keep asking yourself why 5 times, and it will help you whittle down to that core. And yes, Cassie's dropped in the chat. She and Carla, yeah, the 5 whys. Yes, it is a toddler syndrome, really. We just keep saying why, why. But toddlers do that, right? Because they really want to know. So they'll keep asking. So when we do that 5 whys, it can really help us get to the root of what we need in our lives. So that's a great thing to employ for this start, stop, and continue space. So I'm going to put on some more music while we finish up this page and you work on this bottom part. Maybe you're finishing up your reflections, and then we'll move on with our setup. Ellen said she's not quite ready to commit to paper right now. She wants to think about it for a little while. And I think that is a great call out. Like if you're not quite, it's okay if you don't get this done tonight, but hopefully through our discussion and our visiting in the chat, we're going to be able to inspire one another. You can get some ideas. You can just take some notes. When I first started using my journaling, you know, doing socials and learning how to I would just really engage in the chat and watch the slides and write a bunch of stuff down and then go back and do my setup. And I know some of y'all do multiple setups to hold yourself accountable to that. Um, so now we're going to set our intentions for this new month that we have. And y'all know, I always love the idea of the trees are getting ready to show us how beautiful it can be to let go. And so I thought this graphic was so great for our October intentions. On this page, you will find 6 categories of intentions to set as you journey through the month of October through the theme of resilience. And we've got some tips and tricks for that. You know, you can kind of focus on one area in your life. Some of you have shared tonight that you've got some particular things going on, and maybe that's what each one of these intentions can be set up to support whatever that is for you. You could use songs or lyrics to kind of represent, you know, what your intentions are going to be. There's that shout out to post-it notes. If you're not sure and you want to dilly-dally with this page and you know, just kind of check things out and see how it's fitting, write it on a post-it note, and then you can commit to your paper when you're like, okay, yeah, that's what I want to do. Stickers. We love the idea of duality, more and less. Let go of, start doing, embracing, releasing. Duality is a beautiful way to set this up. Of course, we've got lots of fun things this month, lots of important things this month. World Mental Health Month. We have Filipino American History Month, Health Literacy Month, National Women's Small Business Month. I know many small business owners are a part of the Sonder community. Hopefully, we'll get to all enjoy a nice hot steaming bowl of chili on a cool evening. World Menopause Month. I'm not sure how we're celebrating that, but definitely something important to a lot of folks. Anyhow, and if you are a school administrator, it's National Principals Month. But let's look at some examples from our Sonder family. Now, please notice the one on the left, it was money management. That bottom, they took the money management and they changed that to home management. That reminder, especially if you're brand new here, we suggest changing up any of these that don't speak to your life. You know, I'm retired, and so my professional goals I turn into learning goals. And a lot of times it's stuff based on, you know, psychology and our theme and what we're going to do. And I do a lot of learning that way. The example on the left is that duality as well as the one on the right. So we've got more and less on the left, and then the October intentions there on the right is, you know, the let go and lean into. So again, that duality. And my advice to you on this page, a flash mob for World Menopause Month. Yeah. Woo. Literally a right? But what's beautiful, you can see both of the examples here have changed that top instead of spiritual health, they've changed it to mental health. You also don't have to do all 6 of these. If you want to just like lean into 4, if you're feeling very overwhelmed now, I'm going to suggest that you do that. Like pick your top 4 to embrace. And then I also like to say, keep it simple, right? Like if the more words you write, then you start getting maybe it might feel convoluted to you, like, now I'm, you know, single words or short statements can be a very effective way to guide your intentions. We're going to lean into a little bit of magic with those fortune telling balls there. I thought that was a great example. One of y'all did this a long, long time ago, and we've shared it before, and it got pulled and reimagined this month. So I love that. Thank y'all for always sharing. Um, yeah, let's see. Yes, a marriage section that could be great, Crystal. Um, and then you can see this one on the left, everything is changed up. This is what this person is needing right now. And so they have like an affirmation, I will, and they've written that out, and then they've got an action item there to make that happen. The example on the right, this person did cookie cutters as a little tracing and then wrote around that to embrace those 6 areas in their life. So it really truly is about taking what you need to, you know, be your best version of yourself. This page is, I used to do it as kind of a to-do list. It's really like the top of the page says, it's not really a to-do list. It's kind of like these overriding ideas that you want for your life. And the one on the right is a perfect example of keeping it simple. How am I going to be? Is what they've asked themselves. Present, creative, healthy, connected, frugal, focused. Simple, simple, simple. So, yeah, just that's a if you're not sure what to do, that's a great way to, keep it the more simpler, the better. So let's work on this. And y'all are doing a great job of sharing in the chat. So let us know kind of what you're going to be setting for your intentions. If you rename any of these categories, that category might speak to someone who needs to know about that. Or if you're choosing to maybe go a little lighter on yourself, maybe if it's a tough month, you're really going to focus on your physical health and your spiritual health and your personal life and your key relationships. And then that bottom part of the page can be left for a little journal reflection or a check in with yourself to see how you're doing on those things. So, again, take what you need, and we will get on to our habit trackers after this, but share in the chat. All righty. You may be still working on your intentions, but go ahead and keep doing that. We are going to go ahead and jump into our two trackers that we do each month. One is the mood tracker and one is the habit tracker. Now, you're invited to use these trackers, especially like the mood tracker. Use it just as it's intended for tracking your moods. I don't track my moods. I do book trackers here. So I'm going to show you some ideas. I always laugh at Maya, our facilitator. She says, I have too many moods to track. So that's, you can use your mood tracker as a mood tracker, but you can also find some other things in your life to track that might speak to you. So we're going to be on page 10 now. When we do start looking at our moods, it can really help us understand maybe the places that we're having certain feelings, or the times of the week. Maybe your weekends are so great, and when you start really paying attention to tracking those, you're like, oh, it's at work when I feel like this, or maybe the opposite. So it can really give us an insight into what life is bringing our way. And then when we know that, we can put some tools into place or make some changes in our life to better embrace the way we are feeling. Now, this is the feelings wheel. And we have six basic, the basic love, fear, joy, anger, sadness, surprise. It's on the outside of the wheel, but it's also the very inside of that wheel. And then if you notice, it kind of goes out into these pie shapes where we get a little more detailed. So there's a lot of feelings that can fall under the idea of love. And so perhaps if you're tracking something like love, but you want a different word, you could maybe look and say, I'm thinking maybe I'm going to be paying attention to if I feel satisfied rather than love. So you can utilize the words on this wheel to really pinpoint types of moods. Now, if you're doing a mood tracker for the first time, we suggest maybe doing these six basic feelings. It's a really great starting point for that. Katie and I both came across this graphic and we were like, great minds think alike. Because she said, have you seen this? I was like, oh my gosh, I put that in my slideshow. This is when your emotions get combined. It makes me think of Maya, who said she has too many feelings to track, but it's kind of this little grid. So, maybe you can feel joy and sadness at the same time, which could in essence become a feeling of nostalgia. And that makes sense, right? When we look back and we're feeling nostalgic, we have a little joy, but also a little sadness. Um, Rage is when anger meets anger on that graphic. So we thought that was kind of a fun thing. Maybe you can color code your feelings according to to this little graphic here. And then, again, you could maybe focus on resilience with this. And there's not a right way or a wrong way to fill in this mood tracker. Let me show you just some examples. And I always do want to point out that it comes in two flavors. We have a round one and then we have the hexagon. And it kind of just depends on the month. If there are 31 days, you're going to get a round habit tracker. That's just how the pages are set up. But I know that some of y'all prefer one type of tracker over another. Um, but anyhow, and so that's what they can look like when they're all filled out. And then when we're looking at these mood trackers, these are examples of people tracking their actual moods. And they're going to either do it by color, they're kind of color coding, or you can see the little faces. At the ones on the left, the two bottom ones are faces. The one over there on the right, the upper right, they've just, they're really expanding a lot of different words that could fall under that. So like, and what they're going, how they're feeling, they're balanced, and so like you can see extremely balanced means that noteworthy, incredible, outstanding. Feeling just balanced is amazing. And then, has elaborated on that. The one below that are emotions and then tied to energy levels, which can also be a really great data collection to know, like, I was feeling depressed and my energy was low, or I was feeling depressed but my energy was high. That can give you a lot of information. These are beautiful. You can see examples of tracking lots of feelings on one day. They're using that via color coding there. And then our feelings wheel again, and then we can repurpose this tracker for maybe another area that works for you. So here's some examples: anxiety tracker, calm tracker, spending tracker. That might be kind of fun with the holidays approaching. This is a mood boost tracker that you see on the right. So what do I need to do for my self-care, for my resilience, if I'm getting in a place that doesn't feel comfortable, right? Where I'm feeling down, depressed. Maybe you can track the things you're going to do. You have like this little menu to choose from. And a symptom tracker, that's always good. There's a couple of my old book trackers. I do this every month on the regular. My mood tracker is always a book tracker, and that's what it looks like. The days I read that book, I just color. You could rate your day, you could do a workout, activity, lots of things. Step tracker. I always like this one, how to start the day in a good mood. And if they do all 6 of those things, they get a kind of that darker maroon color sticker. If they only do one of the things, they get, the light blue sticker. But it's just, this is all about their morning routine. So a great way to sort of, get your morning routine ship shape, or you could reverse it, do an evening routine and 6 things that you want to see. So that's a fun way to get a rhythms and routines with that. So let's work on that, and then we'll come back and take a look at that habit tracker. I forgot to tell you, I also think that it's really important to highlight the days on this tracker, as well as on our habit tracker that we're getting ready to do, kind of indicate the days that are different from your normal day. So if you work a Monday through Friday job, then you might want to draw a box, over your Saturday and your Sunday, and that way you can pay attention to when you're feeling certain ways in this. What is it? Is it during a work day? Or maybe I did tell you that. Anyway, we want to make kind of be able to get that data when we see which days might have been tougher days than others. Alrighty, and so now we're going to turn and take a look at that habit tracker, which is on page 11. And, this is one of those trackers that I just love, love, love because it can help you stick to these ideas of the things you want to start, stop, and continue doing. You can go reference that stop, start, and continue box and put some habits in place to support what you wrote on page 8. And, that's a great way to track those things that you said you wanted for the month. So, of course, you can use resilience as kind of an overriding theme for this habit tracker. You can pick, any kind of theme that will help you be successful with this tracker. Um, this month, my habit tracker is actually going to reflect my evening routine. I'm getting kind of off balance with my rhythms and routines again. So this habit tracker is all about my nighttime routine so that I can stick to that and make really good choices in the evening. I have some things I'm stopping, like eating and snacking after 7 o'clock. Get my shower by 9. But it's just those things to kind of re-up that routine that I'm lacking in. So the tracker can be used to work for what you are needing, or you can just put a whole bunch of different things on here that you want to happen. You don't have to fill in every line, so it can look daunting if you were like, "Oh, I can't think of all these things." It's okay. Just fill out 3 or 4. Start small, especially if this is your first month. And then there's an example on the right of how the days of the weekend have been highlighted. They just drew around the Saturday and Sunday because you may decide to do a Monday through Friday habit tracker. Maybe you're not going to track on the weekends. Or when you look at your habit wheel and you're like, oh, I missed a few days, but it was always on the weekend. So, you're taking it easy on the weekend. It just gives you that little bit of data. Here are some great examples from y'all of filling those things out and how people are doing it. Some people use stickers, a mark. I just do a little check there. But the one on the right, you can see that they've actually, at the end of the month, compilated everything, came up with percentages. I would say they're doing pretty good on most of the habits that they set for the month. Most of them are 80% or above. That's pretty good. That's giving you that good feedback. The example on the left is just, the showing you how it can look if you're only going to track 3 items. And the one on the right, you can see the weekends have the little line drawn around them. But I also loved that one because I saw where they were checking their markers to see what will match, which I love. And then, again, compilating, pulling everything in. The one on the left here, you can see that they are acknowledging every day. So if they didn't do something, they're still drawing lines through that. Those blank spaces tell a story too. So don't worry, be gentle on yourself. Yeah, Karen, those percentages are good. The one on the right is a former tracker of mine where I did my AM habits and my PM habits. So I just did 3 things in the morning and 3 things at night, reminding yourself you don't have to fill in every space. It's not a bingo game. It is a way to collect data. So let's work on this for just a couple of minutes. Share what habits you're going to be putting on your tracker this month, and then we will close out our time together. it's getting to be where it's everybody's bedtime. We're going to go ahead and start saying goodbye to each other. It's the middle of the night for our dear Katie. She actually, she's across the pond, so we need to get her to bed. Sonder family, thank you so much for joining us. We'd love to see your planner and Sonder Club. Show us what you've set up for your intentions this month or what your habit tracker is going to look like. But also, if you're on Instagram, post it to your Instagram account and tag Silk and Sonder, and maybe it will show up on the Silk and Sonder app. You never know. We want to be sure that we shout out our personalized coach. We have Katie's going to drop a bunch of links in the chat. We have our October exclusive on early childhood wounds. And I heard something on a talk show today that said childhood is what we spend our whole lives recovering from. So it's probably going to be a pretty good one. And then there's our music for the night. Y'all go to bed. Have a great evening. We'll see you. I'll be back tomorrow. Okay. We're doing it one more time. So if you need to sit with us again, feel free to join. We'll be here.
This is my heartbeat song, and I'm gonna play it. Been so long, I forgot how to turn it